Like and subscribe and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week.
15 sea monsters that are scarier than Megalodon. Could anything actually be scarier than the Megalodon? They're regarded as the largest and most powerful sea predator to have ever lived. But as we'll come to find out in this video, there are far greater sea monsters that could terrify you even more. Watch out for the monster snake. I've noticed that most of you watching this aren't subscribed yet, so if you do like the video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's absolutely free, and you can always change your mind later. And with that said, enjoy the video. Number 15, Giant Squid. We start our list with a monstrous-looking creature that's been a threat to humans from the beginning of time. It's one of the most diverse and dangerous sea creatures that were thought to be extinct until recently when some were found. They have 8 arms and a bird-like strong beak, enough to tear not only a human bone, but also through metal. Their large size and deadly character make them to be reckoned with as ninjas of the sea. Number 14, Big Fin Squid. Unlike the giant squid, the big fin squid looks more like a haunting ghost than any type of sea animal. They have long fins that take up 90% of their total body length. You would think it's a jellyfish on steroids when you see it float in the water with its tendrils. What makes this creature scary is that everything about it is mysterious. Scientists don't have much of a clue about it, and we can be left to assume they're predatory hunters, like most cephalopods, and very dangerous. Coming next is a creature that's been a threat to humans since the beginning of time. Ask any person what the scariest sea creature is, oftentimes they'll mention the shark. Number 13, Shark. As much as humans find sharks dangerous, not all species of sharks are dangerous. There are over 300 identified shark species, and only about 30 of these have actually harmed humans. The great white shark is the one reported to be involved in the most attacks on humans than any other shark. Whether sharks are dangerous or not, thanks to movies like Jaws, the possibility of a shark attack will forever terrify us. Number 12, Giant Oarfish. The giant oarfish is the longest, boniest fish in the world, and it can grow up to 20 feet in length. They're likely the source of sea serpent myths that have sprung up over centuries across different cultures around the world, especially Japan. Everything about the giant oarfish seems like a dream of an ambitious filmmaker or science fiction author. They have very humongous eyes that allow them to navigate the deepest parts of the ocean. Number 11, Helicoprion. Helicoprion is an extinct species of shark with an unusual tooth arrangement. It's like a deadly fruit roll-up attached to the bottom part of Helicoprion's jaw. Its function remains a mystery. Some scientists think that these spirally arranged clusters function as a deshelling mechanism for hard-bodied cephalopods. Whatever the case, the existence of this coil is proof that the natural world can be stranger than we thought. At this point, you need to be scared. But if you aren't, worry not, because we're going to give you plenty of reasons not to swim in the sea. Number 10, Red Handfish. As scary as this fish may look, it's as harmless as you could imagine. It's one of the rarest fish ever discovered and is becoming quite extinct. There's now less than 40 in the world. Its name comes from how the fish is always caught red-handed. Okay, maybe it's just because of how they use their fins as hands, but seeing them crawl on the seafloor with their hands is actually kind of funny. Number 9, Leviathan. If you're a religious person, then you've probably heard of the word Leviathan a couple of times. It's a sea serpent mentioned in theology and mythology as an image of evil that threatens to eat all creation. It's believed to be the meanest creature that inhabits the sea, and it's about 300 miles in length. Yes, you heard that right. It's also referenced in several books of the Hebrew Bible. It's said that the Leviathan was created male and female, but God slayed the female and preserved her away for the righteous to feast on at the end of time. This was to prevent them from procreating, as the world couldn't exist with them in it. My question is, why create them in the first place then? I guess some questions are just better left unanswered. Speaking of that, coming next is a species that leaves scientists with many unanswered questions. Number 8, cone snail. I'm pretty sure this is the last creature you'd expect to find in this list. I mean, how's a snail scary? Even the attractive shell says otherwise. But you wouldn't want to be a corpse to find that out, would you? The killer cone snail is incredibly toxic. Believe it or not, just a single drop of snail venom is enough to paralyze, if not kill. They're found deep in the waters of the Pacific and Indian Oceans, the Red Sea, and the Caribbean. The snail's barbs are said to be able to pierce bare skin, and even mature adults can pierce a wetsuit. When threatened, they harpoon their prey with hollow teeth and inject their lethal venom. The only good thing, they're not aggressive hunters, because otherwise, the number of lives this creature would have ended would be a little bit higher. Number 7, hagfish. If there's a sea creature in the world that's disgusting to look at, it's the hagfish. This is because this eel-like creature releases a thick white slime cloud when it feels in danger. The slime makes the water hard to swim through since the predator gets stuck in it, and if not careful enough, it may also fall victim to the hagfish's trap. Number 6, bobbed worm. You're probably thinking, it's just a worm, right? But no, considering the title of this video, it's not just a worm. The bobbed worm is an aggressive worm that can grow up to 10 feet long. What's even scarier is that it has hundreds of sharp teeth that slice their prey in half. If that isn't enough, its body is covered with stinging bristles that cause permanent numbness. Luckily for humans, it sits at the bottom of the ocean beneath the sand and waits for the prey to either walk over it or swim close enough to strike. Number 5, abnormal shrimp. Is it a shrimp or a squid? Whatever it is, be glad that it's going extinct. Their scientific name translates to abnormal shrimp, and they're a hideous 6-foot-long carnivorous sea creature that has tentacles with teeth on them. At this point, I'm pretty certain there had to be a sea creature who's given you goosebumps by now. Let us know which creature scared you the most in the comments section below. Number 4, the Beast of Port Talbot. Let's not lie, this is a weird name, right? Sounds more like the title for a fictional book? Well, this is because the creature doesn't have a name. It's one of those situations where the world proves that oceans hold more diversity than we can ever keep track of. The remains of what might have been a real sea monster were discovered by a couple walking their dog along Morpha Beach and Port Talbot in South Wales. The remains of the undiscovered species were far too decomposed and rotted for any accurate tissue samples. The only way to discover what kind of creature it was is if a live one shows up on camera or is discovered. But until then, I guess we just keep on wondering. Scary, right? Number 3, lamprey leech. A close encounter with a sea lamprey leech might seem like the stuff of a movie or a nightmare. It's mostly nicknamed the vampire of the Great Lakes and Seas. This is because it attaches itself to a fish, makes a hole in them, and then sucks its blood and body fluids. Number 2, the wolf eel. The wolf eel is unique in its own way. It has thick muscles along the length of its body and can grow up to 8 feet. They have very powerful jaws, which they use to crush their prey. The painful bite they can inflict on humans is beyond unbearable. They're feared by other fish because of their eel-like behavior to recede amongst rocks and wait until their prey is near to attack. And with that, it's now time for today's best pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber, so if you come across a photo online and you want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it in our future video. Number 1, Titanoboa monster snake. Talk about saving the best for last. This photo is taken from a still photo of a documentary film, Titanoboa monster snake. As for the posing diver, it's nothing but a cool Photoshop of him and the snake. By the look of it though, this is no doubt scarier than the Megalodon. The titanoboa is by far the biggest snake breed ever discovered.